Ready, hot!
Thank you, Michael. Welcome, everybody. In reviewing the Iowa State game this past weekend, I was really pleased with the overall play. Offensively, Landry Jones had another exceptional day, throwing for over 400 yards and I believe 4 TDs. Brennan Clay, running back, had a huge day with over 220 all-purpose yards and 155 or 60 rushing. Really ran the ball well. I thought our guys up front were really good. Blocking, run blocking, pass protection, all of it was really good. Our offensive line, again, one of the better games they've had overall. Darrell Williams at the tackle position had another really outstanding day. Gabe Eichert, a bunch of guys up there played well. Some big plays, Trey Millard also and Aaron Ripkowski, a lot of really good blocking. And then the big plays, Kenny Stills, Justin Brown, Sterling Shepard, all of them, with a lot of really good plays. Defensively, again, Tony Jefferson, David King. It was good to see Jordan Phillips, a young D lineman, really had a really good day throughout the day there as well. And again, I thought, they did a great job in the first half after a couple of turnovers, limiting them to field goals and not allowing them in the end zone. They gave up a little bit late, but again, they were all contested plays, forced Iowa State to have to continue to work to get any points. Really didn't give them anything easy. So again, really a good day defensively, and special teams again were really solid. So it was a good game to go on the road up there. A team that's played well and they've had a lot of tight games up there this year, and so it was pleasing to go up and play well and win. And now brings us here back home with Baylor coming, a team that's been really explosive offensively, making a ton of big plays. So it'll be a big challenge trying to limit them. Coach Browse and his group have done a great job there. So, like always in this league, week in and week out, it's always tough. Each week getting ready to play these teams that are again so explosive offensively is a big challenge. So, but we'll be excited about it and work hard through the week to be prepared for it.
What's the difference between Brennan Clay? Thank you. What's the difference between Brennan Clay? First 2 years averaged 3.6 yards a carry. Now he's averaging 6.9 yards a carry.
Brennan's doing great. I think he did a great job the other day finding space, being patient, waiting for some blocks to develop. I thought the guys up front are always a part of whatever a running back's doing. The line, better blocking. Aaron Ripkowski, Trey Millard, Jaden Bird, those guys in front of them doing a nice job also creating some space for him.
Bob, you mentioned Phillips, and he had 4 tackles in the game. Are your defensive tackles playing better than maybe people realize or want to give you credit for?
I've been saying it every week, but nobody wants to listen to me. But in the end, I've been very pleased with how the defensive line, interior and DNs, have played. They have been solid through the year.
It seems like after the Kansas State game that Landry and Josh kind of both took the bulk of the criticism. Do you feel like since that game this is the best stretch that Landry's played in his career here?
He's had a lot of really good ones. It's just kind of hard to think back. You're probably better than me to go back and research it. But, he's had strings of games where he's played really well. So this is probably one of them. But he's had some other stretches, too, where he's played really well. So, but the guys around him are playing more consistent, too, and playing well. I thought the receivers, Sterling's route the other night is outstanding. The route he runs, and Landry just threw some great passes, too, in tight spots. And again, the guys around him are playing well, and he sure did, too.
Have you seen anything specifically from him or Coach Heupel in the way that they've approached things? Like you said, he's maturing with the receivers. He's making a lot of deep throws he hasn't made consistently.
Well, again, I think, as I said early in the year, it takes some time on the field in games to get all these new pieces to get everybody, you know, in a position, playing confidently and sure of themselves and trusting each other on where to be, you know, all those things. And it's just, again, it's happening, and hopefully it'll keep improving.
Good problem, but has it been a little bit of a challenge in that you have so many receivers?
No, it's makes it. I was asked after the game, was I surprised that there were so many one-on-one battles, you know, that they were guarded one-on-one. Well, when you put 4 of them out there, someone's going to be one-on-one. You can't double them all. So in the end, that's part of what's been good, that we've been able to, for Landry, he's been able to trust all of them and get the ball to all of them, and then you have your chance to go through your read progressions and not have to force the ball to any 1 or 2 guys.
We've asked you a lot about not using the tight end position as much this year. Can you talk about, it was kind of surprising seeing Gino out there at defensive end this weekend.
Yeah, he just is moved back. It just didn't. We thought it was really going to come together, and it just hasn't. So he still works it part of the time for our goal line and some of those packages. If something were to happen to Brandon Green, he can do it, and he'll go. So he goes over there for the, you know, the practice time when they're working those. But he's back at defensive end. But, you know, right now, you know, our tight end position is Trey Millard and Aaron Ripkowski and Jaden Bird. And until these guys can develop and get further along, as you guys know, I love the tight ends, and we just got to bring them along and get them to where these other guys are.
Do you think that's hurt your offense at all this year, not having that?
It sure looked good the other day at tight end, Trey Millard and Aaron Ripkowski. They're like tight ends. They just, sometimes they're off the ball, but they're doing the same things tight ends do.
Seemed like you guys subbed receivers more frequently in this game. What was the reason for that?
Yeah, we just have to, just because of, you know, with the pace you're going, you need you know, more guys to be able to get in there, and the guys that are getting in, they're doing a nice job. So we got more confidence to do it.
What's your injury situation?
No different. I'm hoping, you know, we'll see. Again, I think it'll just be as we go through the week how Lane and Damian are. You know, we'll just have to see. And Bronson finished the game, so he's just got a sore ankle.
Bob, there was talk again last week about what the official does when you sub receivers. You were talking about guys going down the field 50 yards. Can you talk through that process?
Well, you know, once the receivers, if you sub, then the defense, they hold their hands out, and you have within 3 seconds to start your substitution for the defense to match up. So if they, again, if they run a receiver, you know, 60 yards downfield, and then he leaves the field, and a new receiver comes on, you know, you've got the opportunity to substitute, or they've got to hold the ball until your defensive back can get back in place to start the play again. Hopefully they will. Hopefully.
More of a home team call?
No, it's just sometimes, especially when it's on their own boundary, a receiver runs 60 yards downfield, and all of us just steps, you know, the ball's incomplete. He walks off the field right into his own bench, and a new guy's already at the line.
Yeah.
So hopefully, they see that's, you know, there's a change of personnel there, and we ought to have a chance to match up with it.
Bob, your offensive line had one of their best days. The run blocking was tremendous, yet they're banged up in there. You're developing depth with Farniak and some of the other guys and holding it together, it appears.
It's been a challenge. It's been hard with the guys banged up as they have been, and we just got to. We're doing our best in practice to manage it, to not, you know, overdo it with what we're asking them to do, and to still have them ready to play. And there's always a fine line there on how much you're doing. But I'll say this about them: they've been a tough, hard-working bunch, and they've gotten better. And so it's been fun to work with them. You know, the way they are working, they've got a lot of pride in what they're doing right now.
I know you say that each year is a different year, and you don't go back and look what happened last year, but is it just human nature that maybe your defense a little bit more attuned to this week because of what happened against Baylor last week?
Well, I would think they would be, not only for what, you know, for how they played last year, but also with the respect you have for look what Baylor's doing this year with all the yards they're putting up and points. So it's a huge challenge.
You talk about just your feeling on Mike and what he's done to the defense? I mean, bringing in different linebackers on third down seems to be very effective, and just the changes he's made stemming out of some of these games last year, like the Baylor game.
Yeah, no, Mike's and Coach Kish and Bobby Jack and Jackie Shipp, all of those guys have really done a great job of being really good at what we're asking our players to do, and are they able to do it, judging that and putting them in position to make plays that they can. And Mike's been very diligent about not having mental mistakes. And so what we've done, we've been, complicated enough but simple enough that we're not having breakdowns ourselves and giving up big plays because of our actions. And we've really reduced that. And even the other night, they end up working at 7, 8, 9 play drives just to have a chance to score. And that's and that's going to happen. They're bound to have their plays, but they haven't been easy. And even the ones they're making, you see us, they were all pretty well contested, forcing them to make plays.
And kind of what Shannon and Franklin kind of bring to the table.
It's been fun and exciting to see some of the young players, Jordan Phillips, as I said, but now Frank Shannon and Aaron Franklin at linebacker got great speed, and Frank has the size and speed, and now they're comfortable in what we're doing, and so you trust them, and then it takes a load off of Tom and Corey having to play 75, 80 snaps. They can stay healthier and stronger as they go through the year because they're getting spelled by these guys that are coming in and playing well, and so it's a real positive thing right now.
Last week you said if Damian didn't get the start, Dom would. What changed, and is
Yeah,
Dom
just
100%?
Coach Gundy just felt Brennan was more ready.
So is Dom 100%? Do you feel
Yeah.
like he's back to last year?
Yeah. Well, again, I don't know how to gauge that, but he's back and doing the best he can, and I said that last week, and he hasn't done anything different. He's doing a great job.
I would imagine you feel pretty good about depth at running back with 4 or 5 deep at this point.
Well, we've got we're okay. Hopefully we get Damian back, and that'll help too.
Is it not important for this program to get the home field supremacy back?
What's that?
To get home field supremacy back. You lost 2 games in what?
Hey, Al,
12 years.
we've been here for 14 years. We got a decent home record. You're not going to win every one at home for 14 years. So our home field advantage is pretty decent. So all of a sudden now we can't win at home. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't buy any of that. That makes for a good story, but that doesn't. We've lost to 2 really good football teams in 2 tight games here. So.
We've seen severe ankle injuries over there, where John Cooper and Adrian Taylor, and then Dom seemed about as serious as those. Is that kind of an injury that almost takes an extra year to get over?
They're hard. The ankles with all the pieces, and when they break, they are tough to overcome. They're probably fair to say they're even more serious than knee injuries. Just because I think they're just harder to repair with all the small pieces and ligaments in there.
Bob, getting back to Aaron and Frank, when they come in, is one more comfortable going after the quarterback? Do you keep one back in coverage?
We do, both. We do both with both of them. It just depends on what the offense is doing. We'll blitz them both, or sometimes they'll delay and go for the quarterback late. But no, they're just playing a Mike and Will position.
Last year, Javon shouldered a lot of the blame for what happened against Baylor. How have you seen him improve since that game?
Well, Javon's just played really well, and he's worked hard, and he just. I think what we're asking him to do, he's in a very comfortable position, and has played well. So just through practice and hard work.
Can you talk about the Baylor defense? We know about the offense.
Just sound, cover 4 team, 4-man front. Mostly they'll sneak in their blitzes here and there to come after you, like everyone does, just to try and pick their times when they do it. But played really well this past week against Kansas. I think held them to 14 points, and so again, they've a few people have scored some points on them, but they do a good job.
The Cali trio had a monster day collectively Saturday. Stills, 2 touchdowns, Jefferson leading tackler, Clay leading rusher. What have those guys meant to this program? Seems like they really help you in recruiting as well. And then, did you envision them all reaching this level when you first signed them out of California?
Well, sure. When you sign them, you envision that for all your guys when you sign them, that you expect them to have great careers. Fortunately for these guys, they all have done really well. And it's been fun to see them mature, over these 3 years. We're talking about Brennan Clay, Tony Jefferson, and Kenny Stills, and they're all wonderful young people. They great teammates. They do a great job recruiting. They're just very personable, so they're always very when you are recruiting, they're always engaging and get to know the other players and help you recruit that way. So and then they all have had excellent careers, and it's been exciting to watch them, and they've really contributed greatly.
Because of their personalities, are they kind of your go-to guys when you want kid to get to know some of the guys on the team?
Well, I don't know. It's just all kids are different. They're I wouldn't say go-to guys. I mean, you're saying in recruiting, if they're kids from California, yeah, but they may not be for somebody else, So it just depends on the other guys we're recruiting.
When you have those guys have success from California, that's got to help.
Oh, sure.
Recruiting in the state.
It does. Players in California are aware of the success that they've had out here, and we've been pretty good at being able to recruit across the country, really.
Can you talk about you're 12 wins away from Barry Switzer's all-time winning record, and you seem to be young. Don't know how long. I mean, it seems like you could be here for a long time. Could you kind of address the success in your tenure?
You never know what's going to happen, Dean. I'm very appreciative and, humbled by just to have equaled or whatever it is with Coach Wilkinson. Got great respect for all that he did here and developing this program. I have always said I feel incredibly fortunate and blessed to have worked with the people I have, all the assistant coaches that have been through here, the great leadership in our administration with Joe Castiglione through up to President Boren. Everybody has had a hand in it, and a great group of players through the years. So hopefully I've got more in me. More years to come. You never know. What's how many or what's there. Like I said, I've been pretty fortunate though for 13 and a half years here to have done what we have, and hopefully there's more to come.
Has anyone asked you what kind of building you want on campus yet?
No, I don't. I just don't. Those are just things that I'm just trying to get the next one. I'm trying to get one this week. That's it. So truthfully, when you're the one that has, when that's what you have to do, that is really all you think about. When one of the reporters asked me that after the game, I had no idea. Truthfully, So.
Sam Bradford said, he didn't want a statue put up while he was here. Would you feel the same way?
Oh, yes.
Statues over there.
No, I've said that. They've asked and they have it ready to go, and I said I don't want that at all. It's just that'd feel weird to me. I just not until I'm done, and but who knows when that'll be.
How about
so.
The Bob Stoops press box?
That's good. That would be ironic, wouldn't it?
Were you aware of the TV broadcast that Ed Cunningham was really critical of using the bulldozer?
I wasn't, but again, he obviously hasn't watched it much, or must not have did his homework on how effective it's been. And I think we're still first or second in the country in red zone offense, right? And short yardage pickups, I believe, other than when we fumbled it. I don't know. That was the first time we were stopped maybe in it. So what?
Bob, one thing sort of forgotten about Landry is his durability. He's never missed a start. Can't remember ever coming out of a game by injury. Is that fortune? Is that toughness? What's the level?
I think it's a little of all of it. I think it is toughness. He's a big, strong guy. Bigger, I think, more so than people realize. then there's always some good fortune, in that he's been, protected well and hasn't been in a position where he's, where he's been hurt. So, I think there's always some good fortune with it. I mean, Sam's as tough as they come too, and he didn't have the good fortune,
Well, Justin had a career game, receptions, receiving. Talk about, you're only going to have him for 4 months, but just talk about the impact he's going to leave on.
Yeah, I should have said Justin Brown. There's so many different receivers. Justin had another huge day. He's a great player. He's a big, strong target. He's a guy that you can put it up to, and even when he's covered, and he has a great opportunity to come down with it. What's happened now, Landry is totally comfortable with him and knowing where he's going to be and the timing and those kind of things. So Justin's made a huge impact, and he's second in the league, I believe, in punt return yards too. So he's done a great job.
When you bring a guy in a week into the preseason, is there a risk of disrupting chemistry? And
there would be, maybe, if you had a bunch of guys that had already played, but we were sitting here with a bunch of guys who hadn't played, and the only guy that had was one guy, Kenny Stills. So no, it was as simple. It was very easy.
How has Baylor been able to keep their offense going, even without Heisman Trophy winner?
Well, they've got great schemes. They've got a great speed across the board. Nick Florence, the quarterback, is an experienced guy. Has played a lot for them. So you put all that together, they haven't missed a beat.
How frustrated are you guys getting with the penalties? Because it seems you had, I think, 3 the other day that gave up first downs, and that ratio seems pretty far out of whack this year.
What ratio?
Right now you're 3-1, and
yeah, the fact that we get called on the judgment ones and they don't. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, are you guys?
That's just the way it is. But there still weren't many. Well, we have 5 penalties on the day for only 25 yards. So we still have what I always look at. To me, what matters more are the non-playing penalties. We're not having procedures. We're not having delay of games. We're not having lining up offsides, things that you can control. When you're playing and you get a call, you don't get a call, those kind of things, that's the way it goes. To me, it's the ones you can control. Like I said, your process at the line, things that we're not making those kind of foolish mistakes, and that's positive. And we still haven't had many, overall.
So like the aggression penalties, the face mask, the hands to the face,
right?
There's not a lot that get you concerned about that.
Those are going to happen through a 80-play game, and guys are aggressive, playing hard. I would say to Corey, he got caught a little bit too out of control, so that one could have been avoided. But the other ones, a face mask, when you yank a guy down, that's not a judgment call. A pass interference, you're going up for the ball, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. And same thing with the other team.
Well, back to the Cali trio, they seemed a little different from the moment they got here, just how outward they were with their personalities. Are they kind of the guys that make you be more tolerant of Twitter and social?
Well, I think it's just today's world. Today's I'm trying to stay young with them. You can't, if you think you're going to do everything just the way it was way back when. I don't see it happening. In other words, just think more and more kids, as long as they're responsible, it's okay. And as long as they're doing the other things, it's okay. It's like when I got here, I don't know, they were asking me, coaches, do you care about the length of their hair? Do you care about tattoos? Do you care about a pierced ear? As long as they go to class, work hard, good kids, I don't care what they look like, So in the end, same thing with this other stuff. As long as they're doing it responsibly,
When you said it's fun. It's been fun to see them mature. Does that imply in some ways that it was kind of hard?
No. It's just natural. It's just they've really become leaders in that. Kenny, you could just see. I just see in the locker room and around. He just more aware of it and more serious about whatever it is. With the team and having something to say. Brennan is an absolute example of unselfish, contribute to the team every way I can, be positive every day, work hard, he does that, Brennan, you know, and Tony has been consistently, you know, that way too. So you could just see, but that's natural. All kids by their third and fourth year are different than they were in their first or second, but you know, they've really contributed.
Tony's up for every defensive back award, led your team in tackles, interception.
Broke up a couple of nice balls with big hits, you know, 2 of them. Tony's playing great. He had another huge night. He and David King are our players of the game up there, but Tony, you know, and he's doing a great job, and I think Mike's done a really good job of putting in position to make a lot of plays.
It seems like Brennan almost matured in one game, or it was the game that maybe you expected out of him a long time ago, but he became elusive and he made guys miss for the first time in a long time that I can remember.
Well, I mean, Brennan's always been a good player for us. I mean, you know, so he just had one of those games where he really got, you know, he got hot, but he's capable of that. I mean, he's had a lot of good games here. I guess not to that extent, but he's capable of it.
It seemed like he got like hotter as the game went on. It seemed like he was.
That's fair to say. He did, and really had a great game.
That tolerance that you just described, as long as kids do the right things, did you have to graduate to that point, or do you think that was always the way you looked at it?
No, I think that's always how I've been. You know, it's, you know, the kids are always, they're young people are, you know, all have their personalities and characters, and to me, that's what I enjoy about it. You know, the game is they're all different, and they're all, you know, they're pretty entertaining. So let them be what they want. Long as, again, what are you here for? As long as you're going to class and, you know, you're being the best player you can be and doing the things off the field, the lifting, the, you know, appointments, the, you know, being responsible in your daily activity. You know, wear your hair however you want. You know, have as many pierced ears as you want or whatever else. You know, I go back to Seth Luttrell. He had piercings everywhere. I mean, he was as solid a guy as you could have. So.
What about Brennan's alter ego?
I don't know what you mean.
You didn't know that he has an alter ego?
No.
His football play?
Brennan does?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell me about it?
You really want to know?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he says he has an alter ego, and his name is Toby.
Oh, really?
And he comes out, and that's what makes the plays.
Well, hope Toby shows up this week. All right, thank you.